So for this video, we're going to go over two examples where we have to write an equation in point slope and in slope intercept form. One where we're going through a point and it's parallel to one line, and the second example where we're going through a point and it's perpendicular to a line. So this first example that we're talking about, we're going through the point -3, 5, and we're told that it's parallel to the equation y equals 8 minus 2x. And we're going to write two equations here. Point slope, which is the one on the left, slope intercept form, which is the one on the right. So the important things here, first off, what we're going to do is we're going to always plug into point slope first, and then we will use that and tweak that equation, and it will create slope intercept form for us. So when it comes to these style questions, the two main things that we need to pull from here is the point that they give us. For this example, -3, 5. That is going to be our x1 and our y1 that we're going to plug into our equation here, x1 and y1. The only other thing that we need in order to really wrap up this problem here is we need the slope. All right, we're going to plug in a point, we're going to plug in the slope. Now, if you were told that your line is parallel to this equation, parallel means the same slope. So whatever slope this line has is the slope that we want to use. So remember that slope intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take this y is equal to 8 minus 2x. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip-flop the positions here. Instead of 8 minus 2x, that 2x has a minus in front of it, so it's really a negative 2x. And that 8 is positive, so it's really a plus 8. So I'm going to just rewrite it in this form here because this is proper slope intercept form. And as long as our equation is in proper slope intercept form, the number in front of x, the coefficient of x, is the slope of the line. Now we have a -2 here in front of x, so that means that our slope is a -2. That's what we're going to be using. That slope of a -2 along with x1 and y1, and we're going to plug this into our point slope equation, simplify it, and it's going to give us our equations in both forms. All right, so when we do that here, y minus, remember that y1 is a 5, is equal to m, which we got as a -2, parentheses, x minus x1, which is a -3. Simplify this, and when we say simplify, the left-hand side drops down. We're going to drop down this -2. The only thing we really need to simplify is this double negative on one side here, where those two minuses cancel out to a plus, giving us x plus 3. This is our equation in point slope form. So I'm actually going to take that equation, I'm just going to rewrite it, because now we are also going to write that in slope intercept form. To go from point slope to slope intercept form, all we have to do is add the number to the right-hand side, and then we need to distribute the number in front of x here, right, in front of our parentheses. All right, so we're going to move that 5 over to the other side, but let's go ahead and distribute this -2 over here, giving us -2x minus 6, and then remember we just added that 5 to the end. Combine your numbers here at the end, which gives us y is equal to -2x minus 1. And there you go, your equation in point slope and your equation in slope intercept form. Okay, so for our second example, we're going to write the equation in point slope and slope intercept form of the line that goes through the point 2, 5 and is perpendicular to 4y minus x is equal to 6. So the point here, 2, 5, is going to be our x1, y1 that we're going to plug in first to point slope and then use that to get slope intercept form. Now, if we are told that our line is perpendicular to another one, what we need to do with that is we need to find the slope of that line. And once we find the slope of that line, our slope to the line that we need is, when it says perpendicular, that means that those slopes are opposite reciprocals. So you find the slope of the equation they give you. An opposite reciprocal means take that slope, flip the fraction, change the sign. But first we need to find the slope of that line. If we're going to find the slope of this line, just solve it for y. So I'm going to add x to both sides. giving me 4y is equal to x plus 6, and divide the 4 out. And when we divide the 4 out, the 4 cancels on the left, and we are left with y is equal to, well, 1/4 x plus, well, this plus back here doesn't even really matter what that is. It's technically a 3/2. But what we need to graph from this is the slope. And again, the slope is the coefficient of x. So for here, it's 1/4. Now, it says we need the equation perpendicular to this one. So we don't want to use the 1/4. Flip that, change the sign. And if we take 1/4 and we flip that around, we get a 4, right? 1/4 becomes 4/1, which is just 4. 1/4 was positive. We want it negative. So that means that our slope is a -4. Again, flip the fraction, change the sign. Now let's plug in the point slope. Y minus y1, which is a 5, is equal to m. We got -4. X minus x1, which is the 2. Check to see if there's anything that could be simplified, but there are no double negative rules or anything like that. So this is actually our point slope equation, which means if we want to put that in slope-intercept form, again, move the number over to the right-hand side. So in this case, we are going to add 5 to both sides and distribute the number in front of the parentheses. So y is equal to, if we distribute here, -4 times x is -4x. -4 times -2 is a +8. Drop down that +5 that we moved over. And in slope-intercept form, we have a -4x. 8 plus 5 gives us a 13. So there we have both equations.